Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ali and here I just talk to myself about books and then someone, maybe you, may might not watch this at a later date. I bring you a very mishmushed video today, which is my July TBR and also a mini haul of books I have recently bought / received / ordered. So yeah, let's get started. I think first of all what I'll do is the mini haul and then we'll go through the books that I've picked out for my July TBR. Because I'm filming this late and it is already July, I actually will not be doing it where I'm like live picking out prompts and picking out the thing. I've already done it, I've got them here, I can show you what I've picked out and then we'll go from there. But okay, so first of all we've got the books that I have recently acquired in whatever way, shape or form. So first of all I got a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. I have seen the movie of this but I've never read the book, and this is the SFF pick for August for the Waterstones book club that I am in. So I just happened to be in Waterstones the other day and I was like, I might as well just get it. So quite looking forward to this one. If people don't know what this is about, I don't actually know, I can't remember, it's been such a long time, but it's an ordinary Thursday at lunchtime for Arthur Dent until his house gets demolished. The Earth follows shortly afterwards to make way for a new hyperspace express route, and his best friend has just announced that he's an alien. At this moment, they're hurling towards space with nothing but their towels and an innocuous looking book described with the big friendly words, "Don't panic," and the weekend has only just begun. From what I understand, this is actually like the first of like a few different books, like a series. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I hope I do because I did enjoy the movie, and then we'll go from there. Next, in a similar vein, I also got this book, which is The Heirs by Farida Abike-Iyimide. This is the normal book club that I'm in, Waterstones book club that I'm in, pick for September, I think. Yes, because I think August is, what is the August pick? Oh, the August pick is the something bookshop, which is like a Korean translated fiction that I've already read, but I'm going to reread in time for book club in August. But this is the September pick. The genre prompt for this was YA this month, and we had 3 books to choose from, and this is the one that we kind of all collectively picked. I'm quite excited for this because it's the same author as Ace of Spades, and I have heard quite good things about that, and this does sound quite fun. So 5 prodigies. Everyone has heard of the Button heirs, the 5 genius children of infamous billionaire Leontes Button. Adopted and trained under the Button method, they've had no choice but to be brilliant. But brilliance comes at a deadly price, because at their father's 10th annual prodigy ball, Leontes Button is murdered. As long-buried secrets come to light, one thing is clear. Everyone at the ball has had a reason to want him dead. After all, the father was especially good at making enemies. And this is a very cute special edition. I think it only actually recently came out last week, I want to say. So yeah, quite excited to, I came up with a little bookmark. Quite excited to actually get to this. It seems like a fun, like, quick read as well, so that's that one. And whilst I was there, I also picked up, I've got so many vouchers to spend, so I also picked up another Sayaka Murata book. So this is Vanishing World. I've read quite a few of this author's books. So I've read Earthlings and Convenience Store Woman, and I'm pretty sure I read Life Ceremony, but I don't have it in physical copy, and I really enjoyed all of them, so I'm looking forward to this one as well. So Amane is not like everyone else. Whilst her school friends are all conceived the normal way by artificial insemination, Amane's parents committed the taboo act of procreation. She does her best to fit in, but Amane still wonders what sex and marriage are for. And so when she hears about Paradise Eden, where the family unit does not exist and children are raised collectively, she hopes that moving there will keep her unnatural urges in check. But is this bold experiment the brave new world Amane desires, or will it push her to breaking point? And I've always really enjoyed like Japanese translated fiction, but in particular this author, I really like the weirdness around it, and it's always just very like descends into some sort of like chaotic, deprived way of thinking for the characters, and I really enjoy that. So definitely will look forward to reading this. Okay, and having read the First Law trilogy recently and really loving it, I picked up the next two standalone books within kind of that world series by Joe Abercrombie. So we've got Best Served Cold, which is the next book, and I don't actually know who this follows. So I believe it follows like characters that are mentioned within the First Law trilogy but aren't necessarily like main characters. So this is the next one. And then I also got The Heroes, which is another standalone set within that world, and again follows similar characters. So this one does follow one that is mentioned, so this follows Black Dow. Now I have the big paperback versions of the First Law trilogy, and I was very lucky to find a big paperback version of Best Served Cold. However, I then got a small version of this one. I did message the seller and they said they thought it was the big paperback version. However, when it arrived, it was just the standard version, which is sad. I don't actually know at what point they stopped making the big paperbacks of the series, and I would like them all to match. I might have a look and see if I can find a big paperback version of the Heroes just so they match. But again, if at a certain point they stopped making them in big paperbacks, I don't really know what I'm going to do. But yeah, so I've got these two by Joe Abercrombie, very much looking forward to them. Really loved the First Law trilogy, so yeah, looking forward to being back in that world. I love grimdark and I love those characters, even though they're all horrific. Okay, and then I have a couple of books that I received for my birthday, like after I filmed my previous birthday book haul video. So these are from my very good friend, and these are some of his favourite classics, I guess. Well, one is a favourite classic and one is a favourite kind of like, he loves Agatha Christie. So anyway, one of the books he got me is The Mystery of the Blue Train by Agatha Christie. These editions are so cute and I really like them, and I do really enjoy Agatha Christie. I've read like a few of the books now and I quite like them, so very much looking forward to reading this one. I don't know what it's about. The thing on here, it just says you could perhaps love a thief, mademoiselle, but not a murderer. And I don't think there is a blurb, but I believe, oh my gosh, she's written so many books. I think, is this one of the Poirot ones? I'm not 100% sure. Because I've read And Then There Were None, which was not a Poirot book, I don't think. What was it? And I've read like Murder on the Orient Express and other ones like that before. But yeah, very much looking forward to this. I think it's going to be so cute and fun, but I might wait more towards winter to read it, because I feel like, I don't know, little crime novels like that is a good when the weather starts to get cold again. And then in the same vein, we have Bleak House by Charles Dickens. Now, historically, I have struggled with Charles Dickens, but if there is one book I've wanted to read, well, I've read Oliver Twist before, but I wanted to reread that one, and then I have heard quite good things about Bleak House. Again, it's definitely like a winter book. I feel like I need to be in that bleak mood to read this and enjoy it, but it's one of his favorite classics, so I'm really hoping I'll enjoy it and like it, and I will be adding it to my classics shelf. And also it's one of the stunning like penguin cloth bound editions, which I have only one other of, which is the Phantom of the Opera that my dad got me, one of my most prized possessions now. And yeah, very excited to add this to the shelf as well. And then the last three books I have to show you are books that I have received as part of the Broken Binding subs. So first of all, I've got the new Broken Binding SFF sub, which is like the new authors, new books coming out, etc. And this is just beautiful and I can't wait to read it. So this is The Heart of the Naga by Lee Young-do, translated by Anton He. This is a Korean fantasy, I believe. I can't remember if this is a standalone or not, but can we just look at how beautiful this is? It is just stunning, the sprayed edges. And then, as usual, the naked hardback is stunning too. But actually, I really like the original cover as well. So this is it in a different colorway. And then here we have the naked hardback, which is beautiful. The end paper art, again, beautiful and stunning. And So yes, this sounds so good, and I'm very much looking forward to picking it up soon, actually, because I haven't read any of the new ones yet. I've read, well, I'll let you know, but I've read one of the series. So 3 Handles 1. The world is divided by the lines of limit. To the north are the Tukebi, I nearly said Tukaboki then, the Tukebi, fire people able to manipulate flames as both weapons and illusions. Recon, giant birdmen with immense strength and warrior acumen, and the humans, as divided by the other races, are unified. To the south are the Naga, a reptilian people who relinquished their hearts for immortality. For centuries, the races didn't cross that line, but changes in the air. A Naga is being sent north, and a trio is being dispatched to make sure this agent from the south makes it out alive, one from each race. But the illusion of a simple journey is quickly dispelled by the fact that the Tukebi is merely a scholar, not an adventurer. The Recon is deadly afraid of water, and the human hunts and eats Naga. And when Naga they're supposed to be escorting out of Kiburan Forest is murdered, the one sent in his place turns out to very much have a heart, meaning he's quite vulnerable to the dangerous exodus. The four must quickly forge an alliance and shed the distrust and prejudice that plagues them if they are to survive. And just as crucial, they must figure out what this mission is actually about, because unbeknownst to them, the very fate of the world might rest on this one Naga making it to the north intact. It actually sounds... Oh, okay. So it's book 1 in the Bird That Drinks Tears series. So it is, in fact, a series. But it sounds so good, and I'm really hoping there's going to be like an element of quest and found family, which you know is one of my favourite kind of tropes. So very much looking forward to that one. And then the other ones, I finally hold these in my hands. So as you may know, the Broken Binding do a sub for fantasy and for sci-fi of completed series. So every time they announce a completed series, you can decide whether or not you want to go ahead and purchase that series, which will cover however many months, how many books there are. So all the ones kind of behind me, you can see most of them are Broken Binding series. So we've got the Riftwar Saga, we've got the Mask of Mirrors series, and there's a bunch of others like the Bone Shard War series, etc. And they come, like each month is a book of this completed series. Now, for these like month period, we had The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. However, it was delayed because they decided to upgrade the binding and kind of some of the art, I think, of the books. So we had been waiting for them to arrive for quite a while. So 2 of them came at once, and oh my god, were they worth the wait. So first of all, the sprayed edges. Insanity. But yes, so we have Malice by John Gwynne, which I believe is the first book. Like that cover alone, beautiful. But then we get to the naked hardback, the end paper art. Also, these are so heavy because the pages are like quite thin, but like very like full, very full. And I love it. I'm so glad that like they upgraded this. Whatever they did to it, it was definitely worth it because it is stunning. And here we have a map. I'm so excited because actually I've been wanting to read the Of Blood and Bone series, but I think this is kind of like an indirect sequel to this series, so I wanted to read this one before I read that one. So I'm very excited to finally hold these books in my hands and I can start reading them. It's gonna be great. But yes, so that's Malice, and then the second book is Valor, and here we have another incredibly stunning cover, sprayed edges. Like I literally screamed when I opened these because they're just so pretty. Can we just please? I can't with Broken Binding anymore. I just can't do it. It's too much. They're just too much. You're doing too much, in a good way, obviously. Like I'm just obsessed. I'm obsessed with everything the Broken Binding touches. But yeah, so finally got these, and I'm super excited to have them in my hands. Sorry, they're really heavy. Okay, and now we move on to the second portion of this video, which is my July TBR. So as I mentioned earlier, I actually have already picked it out because we're now like kind of the first third of July is over, so I have picked it out already, and I didn't film it because, again, as I mentioned in my previous video, I went to see BTS, and last week was all about BTS, so I did nothing else except prepare for BTS mentally, physically. I got my nails did, went to the pop-up, got this t-shirt, went to the concert, and have since been rewatching the videos obsessively because I can't believe I actually saw them live. I feel like I've been waiting a decade for this moment. Anyway, we're going off on a tangent here, but so for the July TBR, I have picked out a bunch of books. Again, I've been optimistic. So I'll start with the series I picked out, and I have saved all the stuff, so you know it was legit. So I've picked out the series from my book Pot of Fate, and I picked out Kings of the Wild series. So this is a duology, and we have Kings of the Wild and Bloody Rose, apologies, by Nicholas Ames. I'm actually about, however, what is that, 40% through the first book, and I'm really enjoying it. It is so fun and so good. These are the broken binding editions, obviously, which, as I mentioned, they come as like completed series, and I am loving it so far. So the boys are back in town. Clay Cooper and his band was once the best of the best, the meanest, dirtiest, most feared and admired crew of mercenaries on the side of the Heartwild. But their glory days are long past. The mercs have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the three. Then a former bandmate turns up at Clay's door with a plea for help. His daughter Rose is trapped in a city besieged by an enemy horde, 100,000 strong and hungry for blood. Rescuing Rose is the kind of impossible mission that only the very bravest or the very stupid would sign up for. It's time to get the band back together for one last tour across the wild. And what I particularly love about these editions is here you have the characters as they were at the height of their mercenary lives, and then in the back you've got them as they are now, like older men. But yes, I'm really enjoying this. It's, you know, that found family, fun, not everyone's perfect type vibe, and they're on this quest, and it's just funny. I'm really loving this. So I will be reading this duology as part of my July TBR. Then I did pick out a few prompts from my Illumicate prompt cards. I promised I only vetoed one, and I can't remember what it was, but I don't think I had any books to meet that match, or I just wasn't in the mood for them, or it was one I'd had like previously, I can't remember, but there was one I vetoed basically anyway. So all of these I picked out. So first of all, we had a book with time travel. So for that prompt, I ended up picking the Before We Forget Kindness, which is the 5th book. I ended up adding the signature thing. So this is the 5th book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series, which I think counts as time travel because I think it does. So essentially in this series, it's all kind of like quite formulaic, but I just love it for what it is. It's like a cozy Japanese translated fiction. Fantasy fiction, magical realism fiction, I don't really know what to call it. But essentially in this series, what happens is there's this magical cafe that you can visit where you can go back in time or even go forward in time to visit someone else that you like, loved, missed, whatever, who's no longer here, or you know you haven't been in touch with, etc. As long as they have also previously or in the future been to that cafe, and you can meet them in the cafe, so you can't go outside of the cafe for a limited amount of time, which is how long it takes for the coffee that is being poured to you to get cold. You can't change the past or the future, but you can kind of like speak to that person and just have a little bit more time with them. And I love that premise. I love all the stories. So you tend to follow like 3 or 4 characters per book with their own little stories, and it's just so heartwarming and so cute, and I absolutely love it. So I picked out this book for that prompt. The next prompt was a book that has been adapted into a movie or a TV show, and this one is kind of cheating a little bit because I was gonna have to be reading this anyway for August, as part of the Waterstones book club, and I showed this before, and that is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So as I've said, I've seen the movie before of this, but I haven't read the book. I've already read the blurb within this video, so I won't read it again, but this is the book I picked out for this prompt and I'm quite excited to read it. Next one, we have a book by an author of colour as the prompt, and for that one I picked out, this has been sat on my shelves for so long that I'm actually a little bit ashamed, and that is Feybound by Sarah El Arifi. This I've heard really good things about, to be honest. I think it's the first in a trilogy, and I think all the other books are out now, so this is called the Feybound trilogy. It follows two sisters, and do I have an actual blurb to read here? As a warrior in the elven army, Yeren knows she'll die on the battlefield, but her sister Lettel, a diviner, seeks prophecies of a better future. When a fatal mistake leads to Yeren's exile from elven lands, the sisters are forced into the terrifying wilderness beyond their borders. There they encounter the Fey court. As Yeren and Lettel are thrust into the Fey's seductive world, they're torn between their loyalty to each other and their hearts. So I have, as I said, I've heard good things about at least this first book, and then I haven't really heard much about like the rest of the series or whether it's worth reading, but I guess I will read this first book and make up my mind. So that is the one I picked for that prompt. And you have a couple more to go. Next we have a book with a queer character. So for this one, because it is kind of the height of summer and I wanted like something a little bit lighter, I have picked up The Pairing by Casey McQuiston. I believe this is a queer like romance / rom-com, and it's one I got like last year, and it's a cute little like works edition. So Theo and Kit have been childhood best friends, crushes, lovers, and after a brutal breakup 4 years ago, estranged exes. It's not until they're trapped aboard a tour bus that Theo and Kit realise they've accidentally booked the same European food and wine tour, and now they're stuck with each other for 3 weeks of the most romantic sight and sensuous flavours of France, Spain and Italy. But it'll be fine, they're absolutely over each other. So when Theo suggests a friendly wager to see who can sleep with a hot Italian tour guide first, Kit is game. In fact, why stop there? Why not a full European hookup competition? But sometimes a taste of everything can only make you crave what you can't have. So yeah, quite excited for this one. I think it sounds like a fun little summery romance read. So we'll see. I'm hoping it's rom-com vibes because that is the type of romance that I prefer. And then last but not least, the prompt for the last book was a book with vampires. So for this one I've actually picked out 2 books because one is a novella, but that is so 6 Scorched Roses and The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent, both of which, so this is a Crowns of Niaxa short novel, which is I think the novel that completes, wait, is there another one that completes this as well? But The Serpent and the Wings of Night and the other one that I can't remember right now, something and the Ash King? Oh, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King or something like that. But yes, I've got this novella to read, which is kind of like within that world still. And then we have this one, which is an interconnected duology related to that series, and this is the first book, and I won't read the blurbs because I think it'll be a little bit spoilery, but I think this one might potentially be like background context for one of the other characters, but it's like prior, it's almost like a prequel, and this is a sequel to that one but completely follows different main characters that are mentioned within that duology. So this is the next duology. So both containing vampires, so I think they definitely fit the prompts, but yes, that's the ones I chose for that. So all in all, this is my July TBR. There might be a couple more books added to it as we go if I'm feeling like I want to read something else, but also we might have like a book club book to add to it for my friend's book club that we do every month. We've actually just had our call, and I think we'll be getting our options through hopefully later today or this week, and we'll be picking out the next one, so I might pick that one up as well. So yeah, that's July TBR. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do pop a like, and if you would like to see more, please do subscribe, and I will see you soon.